8:30 now. We've reached time for our 8:30 high beam, and we are so fortunate to have the coordinator of the new Empower Tusc, Jodi Salvo, with us. I say new, Jodi, because the name is new, not because the organization is new, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? Thanks so much for having me today.
Appreciate it.
For anyone that has not heard already, the Tuscarawas County Anti-Drug Coalition has been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. We started in 2012. We really realized probably the last couple years that the name Anti-Drug Coalition just was not a name that really reflected who we are, the work we did.
Kind of narrow casted you right into that one thing.
Yeah, it really did. Kind of one of those stigma kind of words. Yeah. In 2012, when we first began the coalition, the world was really different. Drug use looked different. Problems within the community looked very different. So Anti-Drug Coalition just made sense back then. Mm-hmm. It identified the space we were working in. But over time, we had the opioid epidemic, and clearly we struggle with methamphetamines and substance use, not just here in Tuscarawas County, all over the U.S., clearly. But we realized, just the name probably stopped people from accessing our resources or checking out the work we do. So we just kind of wanted a new name that really reflected who we were. And Empower Tusc, really, I think we're really happy with this name because at the end of the day, we want to prevent our young people from using substances. We want to empower families and parents to have great conversations. We want to work with city governments to create policies that really protect communities. We want to support our law enforcement, our agencies. So, we don't want to have a negative connotation around substance use. We want to have a very positive view of, hey, look, anyone can struggle in this area, but, we have help, we have resources, treatment's effective, recovery happens, and we want to make sure, if we can prevent it, that's our first choice.
Right.
That's really where our heartbeat is as an organization. But, anyone can find themselves struggling with addiction, intentionally, unintentionally. Mm-hmm. But we just want to kind of be there to support persons and help people find the resources.
Right. So the empowerment is empowering the people and then backing that up with resources and aid, right?
Absolutely. So again, the coalition really does work in Tuscarawas County, kind of looking at the full continuum. But our mission and vision is to prevent youth substance use. Yeah. So that's really, our main focus. However, we can't ever prevent youth substance use unless we're really working with our schools and our parents and communities.
People, influencers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know you're a coach, the importance of a coach, having that, sometimes not even a parent, an adult influencer that students respect and value their opinion, even empowering our teachers and our advisors and our coaches and 4-H leaders, mm-hmm. And so our organization's very mindful of all those points of contact that really influence our young people and the choices they make.
So you had a couple of, I forget what you want to call them, mission statements maybe, and two different things. Can you explain what that is a little bit?
Sure. First of all, the mission statement for Empower Tusc is to empower Tuscarawas County community to prevent youth substance use by promoting mental health wellness and by implementing effective prevention, education, and awareness strategies. So I'll tell you what, one of the other things that kind of forced our name change is in the years past, we were pretty substance use focused. Mm-hmm. We had multiple committees. We had an alcohol prevention committee, which we still do, prescription drug, marijuana, tobacco vaping. But we were asked by the Adams Board this year if we would consider bringing the Suicide Prevention Coalition under our umbrella.
Okay.
And it makes a lot of sense. Substance use does not happen in a vacuum. You really can't separate substance use and mental health challenges. And we all face mental health challenges. There's not one of us that's not going to. So, just helping people understand there is no stigma with mental health. There's not a stigma with addiction. But if someone is just struggling with that mental health challenges part at first, they might have had a barrier to go to the Anti-Drug Coalition meeting or website or social media page. So pulling in substance use or suicide prevention, it did also make sense to.
Right. You don't have to be abusing drugs to be depressed.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
That makes good sense. You talked about the Adams Board. This is kind of where this all evolved from.
Yeah, you know what? Back in 2011, the Tusc and Carroll Adams Board received funding to start up the Anti-Drug Coalition. So that was back in 2011. We kind of launched in 2012. So they were the original puller down of funds to kind of start the coalition. And then the beginnings of the coalition, Judge Tamakis was the chairperson. The meetings were housed at the Adams Board. But over time, we grow. And then I became a coordinator. Our second chair was Commissioner Kerry Metzger, who is still our chair. He's been there for many years. I think probably since about 2016, he's been our chairperson. Ohio Guidestone then became our fiscal agent, and the coalition's been pretty successful in pulling down federal funds and state funds just for operating costs. So
you are on stable financial ground, though.
Right now we are. We're year 4 of a federal drug-free communities grant. So that is $125,000 a year for 5 years. Our 5th year is up next year, and then we have opportunity to apply for years 6 through 10. But in addition to that, we have a lot of in-kind support from businesses, community foundations. We pull quite a few grants down from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, some other funders. So we're pretty committed to,
Because that's all needed, because your services, you're not charging people for that.
Nope. No billable services here. So everything is either grant or in-kind donations.
So as you look, the focus is primarily on youth. How are those people identified? If they don't come to you, are you outreaching and kind of feeling out to try to find the problem areas?
Yeah. So some of the ways we work, the coalition supports the Youth to Youth program in the county. So what that is, it's a program that is offered by Ohio Guidestone, where it's young persons that are supported by school advisors. And we also have a prevention staff that just work with our young people in the middle school and high school to help educate, build skills, knowledge with our young people. And then our young people influence their peers. So it's a peer-to-peer model that's super effective. We also have prevention programming that goes in the schools. Most people from Tuscarawas County are familiar with taking to the schools. So, we have that education embedded in a lot of our school districts. But then, so the taking the schools, that's open to all students. So, some districts are receiving service from kindergarten to 6th grade. It really varies. But all of our districts in Tuscarawas County do receive some prevention education. But then our committees really work, again, just to target the whole community. And I'll give you one example. Our prescription drug committee, that's chaired by Jeff Neidig from Mighty Wise Pharmacy. The work that they do is working with the sheriff's office on the take back days that you see in the county. It's disseminating those drug deactivation bags, which are all over the county, to get rid of unused medications. We have home lock boxes. So if parents have medications with potential abuse, we disseminate those as well. So just strategies of how do we decrease access to substances. So each of our committee really has different focus areas. Our alcohol prevention committee, they do campaigns. One will be coming out really shortly. The Parents Who Host Lose the Most campaign.
Right.
You have prom, you have graduation, and you have some adults that might think, if I take the keys away and the kids are at my house, they're safe and good to go. And, that's just not how addiction works. We need to delay the onset of youth use so they don't have an increased chance of addiction.
Yeah.
So that committee works on a lot of education. They do quite a few campaigns. They work with our alcohol retailers across Tuscarawas County on alcohol server knowledge training, just trying to help adults understand, the access usually comes through social hosting or retail hosting. So we need to just be mindful of the impact of substances on an undeveloped brain,
Right, yeah. And prevent the beginning.
Yep.
So if somebody would like to either contribute to the cause or needs help from the cause, what are your contact points?
Tell you what, the easiest thing to do would be to go to our Facebook page or our website. So our Facebook would be Empower Tusc. Our website is empowertusc.com. You can always call Ohio Guidestone and ask for Jodi Salvo. But I would encourage anyone at all, reach out through Facebook, website. There's a contact us kind of page. We meet once a month as a full coalition, the second Friday of every month at the Conventioner and Visitors Bureaus for Tuscarawas County. See the work we do. We have 7 standing committees. They're all super active. So there's a place for anybody to plug in. If you just would want to sit at a booth at the county fair, we have needs for that. Parades. We disseminate information for parents there, and they're effective. So sometimes we just need people to walk with us or sit in a booth or share information. Literally, we would welcome community members if they would just follow our Facebook page and share our information, because it's good. It's helpful. It's how to have conversations. What do we need to know? So if you want to reach out, we'll tell you when the meetings are. We can get you on our email list, even if you never come to a meeting, but you want to see the work that's happening, because there is a lot that goes on.
It certainly sounds like it, but it's all good. So, hey, thank you for coming in today.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
We're glad to hear this and know how to get involved. So we'll talk to you again, all right?
Perfect. Thanks so much.
That is Jodi Salvo, who's the coordinator of the Empower Tusc, our guest this morning here on the 8:30 High Beam on the BT Morning Show.